This week's review is more of a story than an outright road test. It's the story about the practicalities of living with a pure electric car in Ireland today with the charging infrastructure exactly as it stands now. Most people now know that hybrid cars, combination of an electric motor and petrol engine, are a possible way forward in the drive to reduce emissions. Certainly in cities they do make sense. However, what about the pure electric car? The Nissan Leaf was one of the first pure electric cars on the Irish market when it was launched here back in 2011. Now 6 years later and just before the all-new Leaf comes to Ireland next year, it seems like a good time to ask, can you really live with a pure electric car such as the Nissan Leaf, or indeed any of its rivals such as the BMW i3, Hyundai Ioniq, Renault Zoe, VW e-Golf or Tesla Model S? The biggest question hanging over the pure electric car is range. Indeed, two new words have become part of the electric car lingo now, and they are range anxiety. The Nissan Leaf, for example, indicated a range of about 200 kilometers when I collected it fully charged from Nissan Ireland in Dublin. Yet having driven as far as Kildare village on the N7, a distance of 49 kilometers, the range was down to an indicated 121 kilometers. There are 2 charge points at the village, so good news there. A full charge from my domestic electricity supply, however, only gave it an indicated range of 160 kilometers or so. In reality though, I found the real usable range of the Leaf to be closer to 150 kilometers, and that could even be reduced further by use of lights, air conditioning, heater, etc. I found myself really having to start to plan how and where I would drive. Another day my wife and I left our home in Kildare, drove to the outskirts of Dublin, visited a variety of places locally there and returned, but by then the range as I entered my house was down to 39 kilometers. I was going nowhere else that day. The recharge time to 100% from my domestic outlet showed 13.5 hours at 3 kW per hour. So an overnight recharge was necessary after just that little trip. I did not enjoy having to plan each trip, Google where charge points are available, though the car sat nav will guide you perfectly to one, and think about range all the time. My tipping point was when I had to plan a trip to Dublin Airport. From our home in Kildare to the airport is 69 kilometers. So basically I thought I can get there, but unless I can charge it up upon arrival it's mighty tight to get home again. I rang the airport and confirmed they had 4 charge points in the terminal car park, but what if they are occupied when I get there? Someone mentioned leave early and top it up at the Topaz at the airport, but now I would have to sit around for at least 2 hours to get a decent fast charge top-up before my flight. End result? I took a good old petrol car and headed off, a much less stressed traveler. So what's the end result of my time with the Nissan Leaf? Well, here are a few frequently asked questions answered. As an electric car it works, but no, the real range is about 150 kilometers and that's it. The Leaf is styled well and built to a very high standard with plenty of standard kit. The new one is even better and boasts a better range, but let's see. The 24 kW entry model Nissan Leaf costs $21,490 after government rebates. The guaranteed future value of that Leaf based on a 36-month lease is $6,762. Servicing intervals are every 12 months or 30,000 kilometers, but the cost of service is less as there are no parts to replace such as oil and filters. 80% of Leaf owners change overnight at home at a cost of about €4.00 for a full charge, yes, just €4. The ESB will fit a charge point to your house free of charge when you buy a new Leaf. The batteries are covered by an 5 or 8 year warranty depending on whether it's the 24 kW or 30 kW battery. In Ireland there are now some 1,200 public charge points available. As a car I like the Leaf, But Ireland still has quite a way to go before the infrastructure is there to make pure electric car motoring a reality for the masses.
The 2017 Chevy Bolt EV went on sale last December, but only became available nationwide in August. Meanwhile, electric car shoppers waited eagerly for details of the 2018 Nissan Leaf, the second-generation car that finally premiered in early September. We've now driven both cars, and can take a high-level look at how they stack up against each other. Price and range. The two cars contrast most vividly in price and range ratings, with the Bolt EV's 60 kWh battery giving it 238 miles of range, 60% more than the Leaf's projected 150 miles from a 40 kWh pack. But the cost for that extra range is almost $7,000. The 2018 Leaf starts at $30,875, while this year's Bolt EV is priced at $37,500. Both prices include mandatory delivery fees, and various manufacturer incentives are likely available. Nissan suggests a starting price just over $30,000 will let far more buyers consider the new Leaf than the costlier Chevy, and it expects Leaf sales to double globally as a result. Next year, by the way, the company will launch a version of the 2019 Nissan Leaf that offers a larger 60 kWh battery, more power, and a higher price that will compete straight across with the Bolt EV. Design. Both cars are 5-door hatchbacks that, in silhouette, have more in common than you'd expect. While 4-door sedans would likely be slightly more aerodynamic, so-called C-segment hatchbacks are the world's most common vehicle segment, despite their lack of popularity in the US market. We admit we're somewhat used to the Bolt EV's looks by now, so the Leaf feels fresher. Its lines are a touch more exaggerated than the Bolt's, but neither car looks strange or boltless, as the first-generation Leaf did. Inside, the 2018 Leaf interior conveys the message that this is a mass-market car, while the Bolt EV has considerably a more advanced touchscreen interface. The Bolt EV front seats, however, have come in for their share of criticism for being too narrow and thin, so you should test them yourself if you're thinking of buying. Performance and driving feel. Both cars are what you'd expect on the road, though the 150 kilowatt, 200 horsepower, Bolt EV is more powerful than the 110 kW, 147 horsepower, Leaf, making it quicker, which a driver can feel. Each now offers one-pedal driving, with the Leaf's a bit softer and more gentle in its transition than the Bolt EV, although the Chevy offers a rig and paddle drivers can use to slow the car when it's in its default mode, a feature Nissan hasn't provided. With battery weight under the floor, each car feels stable and planted, but we give the nod to the Bolt EV's steering feel. The Leaf remains a little numb in comparison, though it's less appliance-like than its predecessor in that respect. Features. You can look through the reviews linked above for a full listing of features in each car, but a couple of points stand out. The Bolt EV inexplicably doesn't offer adaptive cruise control. Engineers told us its fast development cycle simply precluded that, so we'd expect it to show up down the line. The Leaf, on the other hand, has 3 different types of cruise control, the top level being Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist, which adds active lane control to adaptive cruise, providing it with what's defined as Level 2 autonomy. Both offer Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but a conventional navigation system remains an option in the Leaf, whereas the Bolt EV offers navigation solely through a connected smartphone. Charging networks. The Leaf has a 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger, while the Bolt is 7.2 kW. Both use the standard plug, but their DC fast charging options differ. The 2018 Leaf continues with the 50 kW CHAdeMO system used in Japan, while the Bolt EV offers a 50 kW combined charging system port. While CCS stations were considerably sparser than CHAdeMO sites in earlier years, the gap is closing fast and most public fast charging sites now offer both.
This is what the next Subaru WRXT could look like, and we're not complaining. The divisive, but devastatingly capable, car is soon up for retirement, and its replacement is looking like a handsome beast, if it follows this example. Subaru has released just a couple of teaser shots ahead of a Visiv Performance Concept's debut at the Tokyo Motor Show next month. We've seen this style of grille and front end before, but here, in a coupe body, it looks even more promising. In the second teaser shot we can see huge, Nissan GT-RS rear wheel arches that curve up into what looks like a neat boot lip spoiler. We like. It's almost certainly a preview of the next version of the hot all-wheel drive supercar chaser, and if the outstanding talents of the current one are anything to go by, its replacement should be a hell of a thing not just to drive, but to look at as well.